This episode of the Occasional Podcast is brought to you by the LSA Group, the new high-end, high-value speaker standard, and also Core Power, state-of-the-art power at real-world prices. Today's episode is also brought to you by Qobuz, lossless and high-res streaming and downloads. 50 million tracks in all genres in the best possible quality. Qobuz supports the audio industry and appreciates the needs of discerning audiophiles. Try it for free now at Qobuz.com. That's Qobuz.com. You have reached the Occasional Podcast, Season 4, Episode 9. We are so happy that you could join us on our second to last podcast of the season, and you tuned in for a good one. Today's interview subject, Heinz Lichtenegger, is the president of Pro-Ject Turntables, a turntable company that is world-renowned for making turntables under the Pro-Ject brand, but also OEM work for some brands we know and some we don't. But before we get into all that, I just want to let you know that it's been a hot and heavy week in terms of reviews for both Part-Time Audiophile and Audiohead.com. We recently got the chance to listen to and evaluate an excellent sounding wireless headphone from the Grotto Clan out of Brooklyn, New York. It was a good sounding headphone, and you can check out the full review on Audiohead.com. But if that's not your exact flavor, you can also check out Part-Time Audiophile for more reviews like the Border Patrol P21 EXD 300B tube amplifier or Dolly IO6 wireless noise canceling headphone or the HEDD headphone, the head phone by Heinz Electrodynamic Design. So there's a lot of interesting stuff circulating on our websites, and there's even more. If you click around, just go ahead and click at the reviews at the top button. It'll show you exactly all the stuff that's new and current and wonderful in this space, because things are, of course, turning into the holiday season. Black Friday is coming up, and we also do a Black Friday roundup on Audiohead.com that will give you all the audiophile Black Friday specials in one place, so that's a fun post. And I also recommend you check out the editorial pieces by Dave McNair, mastering engineer that works with us. He's done some extraordinary pieces about how to listen, how he describes sound. A must-read for any audiophile looking to further explore this kind of way that we talk, how we think about listening to audio. He's done some really fun, great stuff. So check out the Ivory Tower articles on Part-Time Audiophile as well. And if you want to hear Dave in the flesh, Dave has actually graced us on the podcast this season twice. Once about mastering, one of his dear passions, and also about the loudness wars, how to think about that, and the impact on audiophile recordings and playback. I also want to add one thing before we go right into the show. Today's episode is brought to you by Macintosh Laboratory. Since 1949, Macintosh has offered distinguished quality home audio products. Still handcrafted in Binghamton, New York, the iconic Macintosh Blue watt meters are globally recognized as a symbol of quality audio. Bring your music to life with Macintosh. Visit Macintosh Labs to learn more. That's Mcintoshlabs.com. Hey everybody, thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest with us from, what's your official title at Pro-Ject?
I'm the owner and the president of Pro-Ject.
Oh, Pro-Ject, okay. Heinz Lichtenegger.
Yeah, wonderful. Lichtenegger, yes.
Like Schwarzenegger. What were you saying about your name?
So that people here internationally, it's a little bit difficult to spell my name, yeah. So I have a nickname which is Ketchup Schwarzenegger. No, but in reality it's Heinz Lichtenegger, yeah.
Very cool. Pro-Ject is distributed by the Macintosh Group here, locally.
Actually by Sumiko, yeah.
Oh, Sumiko.
Which is part of the Macintosh Group, yeah.
And abroad, in other countries, it's just its own entity, and you produce...
We have distribution in most of the country worldwide, exactly said 80 countries. Mm-hmm. So Pro-Ject is one of the products which you can basically buy everywhere over the globe, and also basically in most of the shops. So we are not only exclusive for high-end shops. We have been one of the first companies who make really high-end products, but try to get these products also a little bit more abroad. So you will find this also in main mass market channels like Best Buy or like Media Market in Germany or like Fnac in France. Yeah. So this is very different to many other brands. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very interested about that because how long has the brand been around for in this form?
1991 we founded the brand, yeah, and this was a little bit a crazy time because everybody was going out from analog, and I was going in analog. So
yeah.
I was pretty declared crazy.
Yeah, I mean, turntables in today's climate, it's a little bit like we almost forgot that it was on a decline for quite a long time.
Oh yes, it was actually completely out of the business. Yeah, all the companies in end of the 80s they were going all bankrupt. Yeah, there was no business anymore. Yeah?
So, what crazy notion made you want to start a turntable company in '91?
Very simple. So my job was actually always to bring to my people for the lowest cost possible a really high-end sound. Yeah, and in the 80s also, yeah, it was definitely not a CD player. It was a record player. It was a good pair of speakers and a good amplifier finish. Yeah? People also in that time wanted to have a big hi-fi tower, yeah, with 1,000 watts double cassette machine, yeah, equalizer, wow instruments, yeah, and I said, sorry, that's not good, yeah. If you want to maximize your budget, you just start with a turntable, yeah. And the problem what I had is end of the 80s, yeah, turntables were not available anymore, yeah, because everybody was going out of business or the products were really bad. Coming from plastic from Far East, yeah, and I cannot sell or produce products which I'm not convinced about, yeah. There's always a certain price point where you just to have say, sorry, no, this is not possible, yeah. So I was desperate to have my turntables because the good companies were not existing anymore. So I had to.
It kind of spurred from your own passion just to have. Yeah. A turntable.
Yeah, and I also, the problem is the industry is always a short-time industry. That means they're talking about to get the customer now the money out. Yeah, I was knowing already in the beginning of in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, that turntable will sooner or later come back because the people. A lot of people just listening, and if you were listening, you were realizing CD is very comfortable, and the CD sound is okay, but it's not really super, yeah, and it's not relaxing, yeah. So for me, it was clear that the only way when you really want to listen conscious to music, it's actually a record player, yeah. And so in 1991. In Czech Republic, there was a huge turntable factory, Tesla. Factory, yeah. So the name Tesla is not actually owned by by Mr. Musk. So it's actually a Czech company. Yeah,
I did not know that.
It was a huge company with several 100,000 people employed. Yeah, and there have been many in the Comic-Con. Yeah, there have been many factories from Tesla producing different products. And one of the companies was producing turntables, yeah?
Okay.
And they produced for the whole Eastern Europe the turntables already from the 50s on, yeah. So turntable from Czech against tomatoes from Bulgaria and tanks from Russia. That was the way like the system was working, yeah. And they were closing. So, and I took the opportunity, yeah, and started production again there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was in the beginning. It was actually only modifying the existing. Actually, they had one product called the NC 500, which was designed from then in the 60s, which was never really sold because it was just a simple manual small turntable. But
they already had it tooled up.
Huh?
They already had the tooling done.
Yeah, everything was done. Yeah, everything was done, but they never sold it. I was never interested because it was not automatic and it was not, DG possible and all this stuff. Yeah, it just had only a very heavy platter, a beautiful bronze steel bearing. It has sapphires in the tone-arm bearing. It has a cardan tone-arm, crazy for that money, yeah. And you know, it just has it has even a heavy MDF plinth. The motor was suspended, yeah. I just had to change the cartridge. I had to change the wire. I had to change the awful rubber mat, yeah, and boom, I had in my hand a turntable which was competing against anything until $1,000 at that time, So and actually I was putting the product without having a name on it. On occasion, a friend of mine, a German distributor, he put it to Stereo Play, which is a German magazine, and they put it for review. And without having a brand name, they said this is the best turntable until $1,000. Yeah, so it started. Yeah.
How did you come up with the name?
This is a bad story. Yeah, so you know, I have a lot of intellectual friends, and they know everything better. And I said to my friends, "Come on, let's check. I need a name for my new company. Yeah, let's sit together and let's discuss what this project can have been a name." Yeah, so we are sitting together. We were starting to eat, to drink, and 4 o'clock in the morning we decided we have no name, so it stayed Pro-Ject.
So the Pro-Ject was the original name from the last company? Or?
No. We had no name, so I named it. We had no name for Pro-Ject, and so we just named it Pro-Ject.
But you did put the dash in between, right?
Yeah.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, the dash we put in because my lawyer says, you will never get a trademark with a Pro-Ject alone because it's not strong enough. But with the dash, we're getting a world picture trademark. So it was a little, and then I had to put also the audio systems. But you know, I was not all interested in that stuff. I was never thinking about this. For me, the only thing what I was interested in is how to get the maximum sound quality for the lowest price. So we started to redesign the product. So we then did a tone arm in one piece. Things, you know, we at the Pro-Ject, nothing did really fancy. So because you have to understand in turntables, everything was invented already in the 60s, 70s. There is nothing really new. The only thing what's now existing is better materials. And we at Pro-Ject, we know what is good, and we transform the knowledge to a better price, and with modern materials. That's not what we're doing.
Yeah, and also, you know, redoing your process, so each reiteration you can make a little bit more money and put that back into R&D, right? Yeah. A lot of people I talk to say part of the deal is making the thing, the other part of the deal is making it cheaper.
Yes,
for yourself.
Efficient. Efficient.
The parts aren't cheaper, but your process more efficient.
And honestly, this is also the big difference between most of the high-end manufacturers and Pro-Ject, is that we had the luck that the factory where what we had was used to make huge volumes in the 80s and in the 70s. I mean, lots of products, and they had a very high level of mass market production, which is only usually existing in Far East. So we were able to combine this ability of mass market production with really, you know, the high-end thinking what we had from the design. So from the beginning we were able to give the market a really fantastic price, because it was really shocking that a handmade turntable cost $300. This was a really sensation. This was also a part of the success of analog. Because a lot of people in the 90s, they had records. And a lot of people, they didn't want to buy anymore a record player for $1,000 or $2,000, but they want to have something acceptable. So because in the end of the day, a record player, the needle breaks, the belt is going away, and blah blah. So they went with their Thorens to the repair shop, and they said $200. And for $200 they get a new Pro-Ject, or $300 they get a new Pro-Ject turntable. So that was actually in the beginning the starting point. But because the quality was so high, it was really involving the people. So a lot of people coming back to the analog business, because they wanted to have more. This is like with the wine industry. Yeah, if you start with a nice bottle of the $5 wine and it's fantastic, you want to have the next one for $10, and then the next one for And the company was going then much bigger because we sold so many 100,000 turntables. Yeah, that over the time the people on the debut there is existing about 700,000 people in the market. Yeah, 700,000 pieces about have been produced. Yeah, but you know how many people after 10 years, buying now a turntable for $1,000 or $2,000? These are people who had this fantastic experience, and then they want more. Yeah. And that's what also is my philosophy. So my most important products are not the most expensive products. My most important products are always the low-cost products because they have to be the best. Because when they are the best, they create the snowball effect, which means you're getting then involved in your hobby and you want to have more, and then you buy then a proper amplifier and proper speaker, because the big thing on turntable is, and this is the really interesting message, is that the turntable business creating again people who falling in love with hi-fi stereo, because today we're living a little bit in a mono world, because any of these Bluetooth speakers and sound bars, they are definitely not hi-fi, because high fidelity means no distortion, no processing of the signal. So completely flat frequency response. And it means stereo, and stereo are two speakers in a proper distance to the listening position. Otherwise, if the speakers are too small, you have a mono experience. And turntable you can only really understand when you have it on stereo. Because on mono, the excitement goes away. It's the stereo imaging, and especially on a turntable, you have this beautiful three-dimensional sound stage, and the vibration of the room, which is so much involving you in the music, And so the good thing is, and this is also the reason why Pro-Ject was growing so much in the last years. We are not only growing because of turntables, we were also growing, because we invented so many other products, which are actually amplifiers, CD players, speakers, and so on. So Pro-Ject is more or less today not only a turntable company, it's a global hi-fi stereo company. Because many people who bought a turntable from us, they want now a proper amplifier to enjoy the $500 or $400 turntable really on its best, because they realize if they use it with a $500, I don't know, Bluetooth or a streaming speaker, you don't get the maximum out of it.
So when you were looking at that progression that you were talking about earlier, where people come in and they get the entry-level table, they love it, they come back for another table. In high fidelity, there has been a tendency in growth markets, just as you described, for the price the best to go up, 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 up. When did you decide? At what price point did you decide this is where we're going to cut it off? We're not going to make a $100,000 turntable, because that's the way hi-fi now at least has crawled up there.
We have expensive turntable, but we have not crazy expensive turntable, and we will never do under Pro-Ject crazy expensive turntable. This is like also in the car industry, the big brands in the car industry, they stop somewhere. Because, a Touareg from Volkswagen is the same like a Cayenne. But it's the same technology. This other is more luxury. So, but still the Cayenne is sold much more, because the people want to have then, when it's going over 10,000, they just want to have something more exclusive. We have another high-end brand called ART, which is owned by my wife. And she's doing then the crazy stuff.
Oh, okay.
But so it's the same platform.
Speaking of that, and I did want to talk to you about some of your OEM work. So, what is it like managing a company where you have your own brand, this brand, but then also providing value from an OEM perspective? So, can you speak to what your partners are on the OEM side?
Yeah, we have partners. We have a lot of partners. Some are obvious, some are not so obvious. Some want to talk about, some less. So I cannot tell you all of them. But the obvious one are companies like Music Hall. Is
it part of your internal agreement that you won't
reveal that? Like some people, it's like you say, this is part of the agreement. You don't tell people that we're using it?
Yeah, for sure.
That is part of it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So we're working on different projects, but we are open to OEM because we believe that as more brands and as more products are out, the better is for the whole business. You know, I'm not against competition. I'm for competition. Because if the hobby high-end audio is really appreciated by many. Now we're talking about 2%, 3% of the people. It's nothing. You know, my dream is to extend the hobby high-end hi-fi to 20% of the people. This is X time more. Man, we will never reach the 80% of the people because also in the glory time of the hi-fi in the 80s, beginning of the 80s, the 80% had a ghetto blaster.
Yeah.
Sound machine.
No, that is what we called it. I don't know if that's a still appropriate term, but I'm familiar with it. So what do you make of this resurgence? I mean, is it something that you kind of felt was going to happen? Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but records outpaced CDs for the first time this year.
Yeah. No. It's clear.
Is this something that you foresaw, that you kind of felt was going to happen, or did it catch you by surprise?
No, I would not say I foresee it, but my world was always around this. I didn't think about. I just always, it was for me a snowball effect. It was just happening. So it's just, I was always so busy because whatever I did, I found so many people. Everybody I met, I showed my products, and. I don't talk about only audiophiles. I really talk also about just standard people. Everybody who listened to record players and saw record players, and so they just want to have it. So for me, it was always the only challenge for me was always how to get records and record players more visible on the market. This was the first reason why we were also going to the mass market. Not because I wanted to earn there so much money. For sure we earned also money. But it was just the visibility. As I started in end of the 90s to sell products to the mass market stores, my high-end dealers were phoning him up and said, Heinz, we kill you because you delivering our competition, and they will kill the products, but the opposite was happening, because in the shops nobody was seeing the turntable because only few people were going to the shops, But when you're going then to a mass market store, thousands of people were seeing the turntable, so they were phoning us up and they said, "Oh, we have seen a turntable there, but nobody had an idea how this is working proper. Can you give me a proper dealer?" Yes, I have the proper dealer there. So it was an advertisement,
Yes.
And
I totally agree because the Pro-Ject turntables, when I first started doing this hobby, I saw them at places. That is part of the thing. I know it's very difficult. Distribution on a retail level like that is crazy difficult. Not every brand can do it. But one of the things that I saw product. I saw what is this?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I want to see it. And
exactly.
in that token, although very difficult, it is a form of advertising or marketing. I see the thing. I'm like, and it makes you think about the product category, but it also makes you think about the specific brands you saw, and that is one that had very good distribution when you see these things.
And therefore, it's not funny from a production standpoint, and from an economical standpoint, that you make a debut in 9 different colors. Because your warehouse and your turn and everything, this doesn't fit together. So no big CEO will sign this in the first moment. But why I did all these colors? Because again, we're getting so much press coverage, so much visibility because the colors. The people, if this is a black color, okay, they go pass by. But then if this is the red color, they look in it. And say, wow, what is that? And also the vertical turntable. I didn't do the vertical turntable because it sounds better. It's because it's a crazy good solution. For sure, for the same price you're getting from the vertical turntable, you're getting an essential, which is better, maybe the better turntable, but it's not the fun. It's not the attention, the attraction, and that's all about, So it's also about fun, about seeing it, and also I had the cooperation with the Beatles, with the Rolling Stones, making the so-called artist collection. So they designed. We had the Yellow Submarine, we had the Sgt. Pepper, we had the Ringo turntable, you're getting lifestyle press with this.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate all the work. I have to say, from the classical audio magazines. The classical audio magazines were very supportive because in the 90s, yeah, when I count the number of turntables sold, yeah, but the press coverage, yeah, the space what we still had in analog, in magazine, hi-fi magazine, it was really not the same. Should not economically, it was not explainable. Yeah, so the reviewers, they really believed also on the analog. Yeah, yeah. But in the end of the day, you need also to get lifestyle press. Yeah, and the lifestyle press reach way more people. And when you are in vogue, let's say in Frankfurter Allgemeine, in New York Times, and so, yeah, when you have press coverage there, yeah, then it's a completely different thing. And there you don't get press coverage because you sound better, yeah. Nobody's interested in that, yeah, in reality, because everybody in the mass expects that the sound of such a product is very, very good. But it's about the design, it's about the lifestyle, it's about the attractivity, yeah.
So it sounds like you're very passionate about this subject of bringing the idea to the masses, and obviously I think part of that is the color and the way it looks. Audiophiles like to pretend like it doesn't matter and sound's the only thing. I think that is not necessarily true. I think that is definitely an element of what makes the whole package alluring. However, I wanted to ask you, what do you think it is, in just a general sense, that caused this resurgence? Why are people drawn to records? Because it's obviously not as inexpensive, it's not as convenient. What is it, do you think, that people like about playing vinyl?
We have a lot of discussion about this, and I have a very clear So I have a very clear opinion about this, and this is, I think, it was inevitable that analog record playing coming back. Yeah. So for sure, first is the poor quality, yeah, and audio. In the whole history of audio, was always only sold and working when the quality was high, when the customer was believing in the quality. Yeah, it was in the 60s, 70s. Yeah, as the American hi-fi industry was born. Yeah, we had before some sound consoles. Yeah, and then companies like Marantz and Klipsch started to really be big. Yeah, and was driven sheer by the quality. And then the Japanese company were coming, and they were making fantastic products. Yeah. Yeah, this was the big time of Sansui and Nakamichi, and this was all driven by quality. Yeah, then the cheap hi-fi tower, yeah, was driving the business down. Yeah, because the plastic, nobody wants the plastic. Yeah, and again, yeah, it's always bought by the 20% of the people who have, and I don't want to say the 20% of the people who are totally the intellectual or the money. So it's the people who care. Yeah. Yeah. And if you care of something, yeah, you can't like plastic. Come on. Yeah. So everybody was going out. Then they invented the CD player, and everybody was rushing to the CD player. So it was a big boom. Yeah. Yeah. And then with this again, yeah, it was destroyed because then you got a CD player which were awful because there was only the drive in the box and nothing inside, yeah, and everything again was done very cheap from the industry. So the people were going out again, yeah, yeah. And then there was the invention of the home theater. In the beginning, the home theater was fantastic, yeah. Everybody was going there and enjoyed the big sound, yeah. And then what the industry did, yeah, there was coming an American company and said, this small plastic speaker is enough. Yeah, so and when this is enough, yeah, and a $500 5+1 system is already good, yeah. Then the 20% of the people who care, who are the real customer, they go out again, yeah. And so, but now with the reborn of the analog, yeah, this was exactly that what the market needs, yeah, because the market, the whole worldwide market, yeah. In whatever industry we're talking about, yeah, the consummation of the consumer goes faster and faster and faster. But as a contrapunct, there is developing now again a wave, or not? It's not a wave. It's huge, yeah, where the people searching for getting her life slow down, and analog slows you down. It's not convenient, for sure not, yeah. But if you like something, then you don't care. Look at the bicycle industry, yeah? You have to put one bicycle together, yeah? And now a bicycle can cost $10,000 because the people care, because they love it. Yeah. Wine drinking, yeah? You have to have the right glass, the right temperature, the right food, yeah? You have to open up 3 hours before, yeah? And so on. It's not convenient, yeah? The convenience, yeah? The biggest problem of the audio industry is always when it's getting convenient and when it's getting to background music. Once it's background music, it's enough that the speaker is $200 because you don't realize the difference. Yeah? And you also like even more the product which has a DSP because the brain, the loudness effect of the brain. Yeah? It's just, it just even subjectively sounds better when it's processed. Yeah. Because it's background music. But once you really listen, you need a linear sound because otherwise you cannot listen to the instruments. You don't hear them, yeah? And then you are so fascinated, yeah, that you can really hear the single instruments. You can hear the room, you can hear the soundstage, yeah? And boom, once you have the soundstage in your home, yeah, this is a fascination you don't want to get away, yeah? But for sure you have to care. For sure, you have to talk about, again, how to position the speakers, and you have to think about how you design your living room that your speakers are on the correct position, yeah? This will come again stronger and stronger, and this was initiated, yeah? And then for sure also, it was initiated by the record player, and then for sure it's simple also, the haptic. Why? Bill Gates 2005 on the CES said, yeah? In future, the consumer will only pay money anymore for quality and haptic. And that's what's coming true. Music in shit quality, you can download free. Once you want to have something, you pay. And the haptic is the feeling.
Yeah, the touch, yeah.
Yeah, the touch.
Yeah.
And the record is the maximum touch.
Yeah.
Because it's a full sense product. Because you can see, you can read, you can smell, you can listen. Yeah, so it's not one thing only. Yeah, you go to a friend for a party, and he's a music lover. Yeah, and you bring him a USB stick. No, you will bring him a record. You understand?
I brought something for you. Here it is.
Yeah, so that's the reason why people start to love record playing, because there's so many reasons. Yeah, and for sure it's also retro stuff. Yeah, the young kids they simple like it because it's also a little bit it's a lifestyle thing also. Yeah.
Well, I think if you go to a friend's place, and it could be anything, but hey, I like your apartment. How you doing? Nice to meet you. And you say, well, you want to listen to some music. And you go press play, or you tell Amazon play the song. That's one thing. But let's be honest. If you go to somebody's house and they put on a record, I have to say they seem way cooler. It just seems like, oh, you care. Like you're saying, you're not just like doing lip service to this thing. You are literally going there and you're gonna take it off, put it out of the sleeve. You hand the sleeve over, or you set it up, and you're looking, you're touching, you're feeling, and you're enjoying the craftsmanship of a full experience of, like you said. I think touch is also a very important part. People forget about that. There's so much virtual. I think, and this is just my theory, that the wave of vinyl is a response to the lack of touch.
This is just what I said, yeah?
Yeah, it's
exactly.
With the iPod and headphone listening.
You want to have something back.
How many people listen to headphones on vinyl? Maybe some, but not as many, right?
No.
The iPod and this sense of virtual everything, simulation of life, the real life, is so pervasive among so many things that this is a reaction to that. Like, no, I don't want to touch the phone. Doesn't even have a real keyboard, right? There's no pet typing on. It's just touching a sterile surface that has no texture at all. It's so medicinal and boring, and you hold the record and you take the sleeve out, and there's multiple textures: the texture of the sleeve, the texture of the internal sleeve, the texture of the record. And you got to be careful. Absolutely. You have to care about the process.
But the society has forgotten to care in whatever sense now, yeah. But a lot of people want to bring this back to their life.
Yeah.
because it's so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a labor of love, but the labor is the emphasis of the love. You do the thing that's hard because it, in a way, in and of itself, it proves that it's worth it.
Also, what I think, because you just mentioned, not so many people listen to records over headphones, yeah? In the last 10 years, yeah, headphone business was getting really important. And we see the prices also from headphones getting quite up, yeah, to the crazy designs, yeah. And I know this will drive in the next year again the speaker business. Because...
that's the hope.
No, 100%. If the industry doesn't make crazy mistakes, yeah, okay. I'm 100% this will happening, because in the end of the day, yeah, when you have a nice living room, yeah, and you have a proper system, the listening over headphone is great, but the listening with your whole body is better.
And I don't disagree with that one bit. I think the experience of feeling your whole body there's no substitute in a headphone form. Absolutely. Now, they have these little vibration packs, whatever. It's not the same. When the speaker plays, to me, it's more like real life. That's just my opinion. And I do love headphones.
I love headphones, no problem.
No,
I have
I'm
the
just
best
saying,
of the best at home.
one is closer to real life than the other. Yeah. However, there is, I think, an element that the siloing of the cell phone and the headphones, it might not translate as much as we hope to stereo in the long run. It could just be that this population is marching towards an isolated existence more and more. No talking on the phone, more text, right? These type of elements. My hope is that you're 100% right, and we all listen to stereo, and we sit back, and life has a resurgence of connectivity to person, but I am slightly skeptical.
It will be work. It will be work, yeah. But, as I started with 1991 with the turntables, yeah, everybody declared me crazy, and it was a lot of work, yeah. It was just, I was on shows, yeah, where I had, a table like this, yeah, with two turntables, yeah, and everybody was passing by and had a big laugh with me. Yeah. So, and today we are one of the major companies in the hi-fi industry. Yeah. So, I believe very strong that in the end, it's still a niche. Yeah. But it can be a substantial niche, and this is what makes me really exciting what I'm doing, because what I also have as a feedback, yeah, which is a huge satisfaction for my life. Yeah. Once I get people to this hobby, and it doesn't matter what price range it is, yeah? Mm-hmm. I'm getting so much positive response. I'm getting so much appreciation. I'm getting so much thank you, yeah? I'm getting so much, lightning eyes, yeah? Mm-hmm. This makes me so happy, yeah? So, as I said, the business is at the moment difficult because everything is background music, everything is convenience, yeah? Everything is apps, yeah? People decide to buy a product because it has the better app, yeah, and not the better sound quality. But I'm sure there is, driven by the analog turntable, by this base experience, there's a good chance that hi-fi stereo is coming stronger back than it was in the past.
What do you kind of see is the future of digital? I mean, how do you embrace, as your company, the progression of quality? I think it's pretty clear that we're seeing leaps in quality on the digital side faster than we are in analog, because the technology is evolving. How do you look at that and address it?
So first of all, I have to state that I founded Pro-Ject, or let's say I founded. My first company was called Audio Tuning. I was a retailer and a distributor before I started with Pro-Ject. And my aim, as I said, is to get for the lowest cost possible the maximum sound. Yeah? And at that time, it was the turntable. Therefore, my first product was a turntable. Yeah? But in the last years, I was investing a lot of money in digital. And we have some fantastic products like the Prebox S2 Digital, which is like the debut, a completely, let's say, big champ in the quality, because it's $400 like the debut, and it gives you performance like 5 times the price of high-end products, or close to high-end products. So we invested huge money, because today digital, if you do it correct, gives you an extremely good possibility to make fantastic sound for very little money. Yeah, and that is making me again fascinated because I want to give the people, really this touch of what is high-end audio. Yeah, and you can do this again with digital because also the recordings getting better and better. Yeah. Even in the past, now we have the recordings. We know the recordings were done with way too less resolution. Today we have high resolution also in the recording. So even you have some manipulation on the recording, you still stay with a very high level of resolution. Yeah. Anyway, I see that the customer will have both. Yeah, the customer will have digital. Yeah, because also software programs like Roon, was helping digital a lot because you're getting the better haptic, the better experience with this on digital music. Yeah, so I believe digital and analog they will exist. Yeah, and you will probably on digital you will have the mass of your music you will still have on digital. Yeah, but the very very special what you're most proud of it. Yeah, you will want to buy on analog.
There's a saying from a movie I like. Over a long enough timeline, is from Fight Club. Over a long enough timeline, the survivability rate of anything goes to zero over a long enough timeline. Do you think that there is, at some point, the record will disappear, and how far away, and the digital will just take off, and the technology and the love will just
no. There's a lot of investment in producing even better records. So I'm also involved with Günter Sleuber's attention to make the HD vinyl happening. Yeah, so we are part of this whole group. Yeah, there is a group in foundation called the Vinyl Alliance, where first time the whole industry sitting together on the table. I mean, not only the hardware guys, also the software guys, the mastering guys. Yeah, so everybody sitting together. Yeah, just trying to promote this business. Yeah. Not to let this business destroyed by the cheap offers of the Far East brands, which are popping up in Amazon, which are making products which doesn't make the customer happy, which makes again the snowball effect going down. Yeah, and the big risk at the moment from our industry is that young people buying a copy of a Rolling Stones record, which is $9.90 and is produced just like so bad, and then they buy a crap plastic turntable, and then they say, oh, this vinyl heap, this is only industry made hype, So because my Bose SoundLink, with Spotify sounds better, and it sounds better if you buy such stuff, So that's the risk, but as I said before, the risk is always that audio or the interest in audio is destroyed by sheer industry who want to get benefit. Everybody's jumping up, but if the quality companies are staying together and promote the things and putting the right message to the customer, I think vinyl has still a good potential. I don't know how much it grows, but I cannot see that vinyl is going away. This is already too big again.
Yeah. Well, this has been a very, very fun interview. Do you have any final kind of words you want to say on the way out here? Any ideas you'd like to pass along to our listeners?
Yes. So the biggest idea is just have fun. Just enjoy it. Just don't think what product is better. Just listen to it. The big problem. It's not the final word, it's actually a long word, but the big problem, the big risk is not only that, this is what I want to say, is not only the cheap industry, it's sometimes also the super high-end industry. Here is also a risk, when the things are going too crazy expensive. I'm actually against this, Okay, there will be always super high-end products, but we have to be careful that we are not, in details where, let's say, the normal customer is shocked. I have expensive cables at home. But it should be not only the expensive cable which makes the sound better. Because a lot of people don't would understand. But the main thing is, I want to motivate everybody in the industry to really work on every who cares, and I want the people they care that they go and try to have really the live experience. They also support the dealers. They also go to physical shops, and checking out, that for $1,000 they can get actually a real high-end system already. And this is a really nice message.
Mm-hmm. Very Cool. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Occasional Podcast Season 4. The Occasional Podcast is a production of the Part-Time Audiophile Network, which includes parttimeaudiophile.com, the Occasional Magazine, the PTA newsletter, and audiohead.com. You can stay in touch with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. The Occasional Podcast is produced and hosted by Brian Hunter, executive produced by Scott Hall at PTA Productions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Occasional Podcast on iTunes, Google, Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are downloaded.